Hello friends. What if I told you that Isaac Newton is alive today? Well, he actually is alive today. He's just really good at hiding. If you didn't know, Isaac Newton died in 1727. In 2022, the average life expectancy in the UK is about 80 years. So back then it was probably a bit lower. Let's say 75 years. If he was born in 1943, he would have died in 2018. So let's take a look at what would be his position, his family, his income, and his love life. If he was alive today, he was born in 1643 and died in 1727, which means he lived from 1643 to 1727. That's 84 years. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching. When he was 24, he had an affair with a woman named Catherine Barton, and they had a son named Will, but he gave him up for adoption, and he grew up believing his biological father was his adoptive father. To protect his reputation, Newton even went as far as to write a letter to William when he was 21, stating that he was his illegitimate son. After he died, though, the truth was revealed and William changed his surname to Newton to honor his real father. So if Isaac Newton was alive today, he'd probably be a single man with one son, a professor at Cambridge, and a few honorary doctorates from other universities around the world. So we all know he was a brilliant scientist. But what would his position be today? Well, he basically invented calculus, discovered gravity, and laid the foundations for modern physics. So I think it's safe to say he'd be a professor of physics, possibly at Cambridge University where he studied. What about his family? Well, he never married, so there'd be no wife. But he did have a son. What would his income be? Well, according to the National Science Foundation, the average salary for a professor of physics in the UK, £69,000. But as he'd be a world-renowned expert and possibly the head of his department, I'd say he'd be earning closer to £100,000 a year. Not bad at all. And finally, what about his love life? Well, he was a very private man and not much is known about his personal life. But he did have a few long-term relationships with women named Elizabeth West and Anne Barton. So if he was alive today, I'm sure he'd be on Tinder. Just kidding. He'd probably still be a bit too busy for a relationship. So there you have it, a glimpse into the life of Isaac Newton. If he was alive today, what do you think he'd be up to?